Our film is called Pages. It is a suicide prevention piece that is very important to us, very dear, and we have a lot of personal connections with, I feel. It's something that I think a lot of people can identify with. It's about two people at their very lowest point in their lives where the universe steps in and gives them an opportunity to interact that gives them hope. You know, it really changes their stance.
Where did the inspiration for the story come from?
Wow, okay. Again, it's very personal. It hits home. I think suicide or even the thoughts of it is something that a lot of people can identify on various levels, such as maybe personally or something that hit home with family or et cetera and so forth. So my degree's in psychology and I deal with a lot of very deep, dramatic pieces, and it's just something that really resonated with me.
What was it like filming this? I mean, you're going through all these emotions. You're going through, you're acting, but also too, it could be very emotional. So, what was your emotions like while filming this and having the razor to your wrist and stuff?
So, filming this was it was hard because there is so much emotion in there, and going so deep is scary. But I can say that I was well prepared. Arnold allowed me to actually embody this character, so it wasn't me, it was, I became Maya when I stepped on that set, and because we had talked about it, he would allow me those breaks where I could come out of that, because it was hard and I was afraid that I would get stuck in there because it's so deep and there's so much emotion, and I was able to take the breaks when I needed them for as long as I needed to, so that I didn't get stuck. And knowing that I was able to, that I had that time to come out of it if I needed to, made it a little easier. But that piece is, it is by far, I'm so proud of it, because this is the first time that I actually was able to fully embody a character. So when I watch it, I don't see myself, I actually see Maya. So.
What did you learn about yourself as an actress, but also too as a person?
I learned what I need in order to fully pour into a character. I didn't know what I needed before, but now I know. So when the next time I step on a set, I know what to ask for. Because every time you step on a set, of course you want to embody that character, but I never knew what I needed to do that. And as far as a person, this was deep because I've kind of dealt with something similar to that. So it gave me the strength to actually talk about it. Sometimes people are afraid to talk about things that are, I guess, considered taboo, and I was just comfortable, and I'm more open to talk about things like this now.
Since you've been through a similar situation like this, what could friends do? What could people in your lives do to bring up the subject of, mental health and suicide, and not just ask, hey, are you okay? What would help you in the situation? God forbid you're in this situation again. What would you like your friends or family or coworkers to do or say? What do people need to do for each other?
So many times I think people don't talk because they're afraid of being judged. And to just know that there is someone there that you can talk to when you're able to, because sometimes you're not always able to talk about it. And it may just be the timing, what you're going through at that moment. But as long as you know you have someone and they're not pushing and they're not going to judge you, I think that makes it easier. I think the people that I have opened up to the most before I was able to publicly speak about issues that I was having were people that just said, I'm here for you if you need, when you need, and when I needed them, I went to them because I knew that I felt safe. And you want to always feel safe whenever you're dealing with any issue. You just need to feel safe.
Can I add to that a little
Yes,
bit?
please.
I think it's a two-sided road. I think it's equally important to create an environment where people can feel comfortable to talk about these things. There's been a stigma surrounding, suicidal thoughts or people, engaging in just mental health in general. And it's unfair to the people that are suffering from these conditions and situations because they don't feel like they can reach out for help. And that's why Pages is important to us. We wanted to shed light on, people hurt. And a lot of people hurt in silence because they don't feel like they have an outlet. So the other side of the road is that as a society and just as individuals, to reach out and let people know that there is a safe environment for them to reach out, just seek help. Of course, an unbiased party such as a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that is also amazing. That's their profession. That's what they do for a living. But it's also equally important to have people that care about you, that let you know it's okay to approach me about these things because I'm here for you. A lot of people don't know how to be open for that, and that's why Pages, I think, is something that we want to share with the world. And we've seen a strong reaction. We've got people coming up to us, hugging us and crying and telling us that they love the film and they needed to see this.
What is the future for this film? Because for me, it got me wanting more. I wanted to know about your character. I wanted to know about her character. What's the future of this? Because I think you could really build a powerful feature film into these two people's lives. Why did they live in the same, apartment complex? Why were they in the same neighborhood?
That's an excellent question, and based on the backstory that we created, there's a lot of content there, and I totally agree that I think there is a lot of story there that could be developed. When I approach any script writing ideas, I do the traditional 15 beats, the full outline in case, as if it is a full-length feature film, and then I try to find the short film in there. So there is the groundwork. What we're doing now with Pages is getting it out into festivals and getting it out to people, and then we're reaching out to suicide prevention groups and support groups and gauging the kind of responses we're getting. If the fan base or the support is there, then of course we want to expand. If the people want more, I'd gladly be happy to give them more, and there's not a better cast and crew that I would want to do that with.
Let's talk about set design and where you filmed this, because the apartment complex that you filmed it in, I mean, you could tell that she was struggling with something because of all the clutter and the mess in her apartment. And then, you could kind of see the bathroom was a little unclean, and those are signs of mental illness. But let's talk about the set design, because this was spot on. I mean, this was not a sterile, movie set. This was, I felt emotion watching this, with the set.
Well, I guess I'll take that one. Yeah. Every facet of filmmaking is very important to me. I feel like your weakest contribution to a production speaks more loudly than your strongest. So every aspect is important, from the wardrobe to the set design, et cetera, and so forth. My crew members are two of my crew members are married, and Derek is a local American, and his wife Olya is from Russia, and they have this very, very exciting, colorful, eccentric apartment that has so many facets to it, and she collects art, and a lot of things in that apartment were already there. And then of course it's in an old downtown area in a complex that's been here for decades and decades and decades, like the 20s or somewhere in that period. So it had a character in itself. And then you come in with GAC and props and set dressing, and you just create these environments. And we think of color palettes that speak for the characters. Every bit of that film was shot in that apartment. His apartment was the same location. Her apartment was the same location. And you think of how colors, as a filmmaker, you think of how colors represent certain things, motifs, and then you think about how those colors should change as a character's emotional journey, as the art changes as well. And I think the story tells you what it needs, and you populate it with what has to be there to support those emotions.
Because what was so powerful to me about the set and the location is anyone could live there. Yeah. It wasn't a high-rise in downtown XYZ, $500,000 condo. It was someplace that everyone would live in, in any city in America. So that, to me, that was so powerful. So let's talk lastly about the Memphis Film Prize. How important is it to film, here in Memphis? When people think about filming in the South, it's usually Louisiana with their Swamp People shows, and then Atlanta's now booming. Tell us about filming in Mississippi, northern Mississippi, and Memphis and Tennessee.
Okay. You mean specifically how it's different, or from what
how
people...
it's different, and why people should come and film here? Why should the studios and Netflix and...
Oh, absolutely. So there is a cliche for what Southern film should be like, or what Southern people are like. And, honestly, Memphis is a big city, and there's a thriving film community here. There's a lot of actors. There's a lot of filmmakers. We make the... top 10 and top 25 list of independent filmmaking cities in the country, and it's got a rich history, with music and blues and Elvis and all that. The city itself is a character, and the environment is a character. And I think one reason to come here is that there are stories to be told here that no one's told on a huge budget level, because sometimes the mentality is the swamp people and the people that go hunting in the forest all day and have really strong Southern thick accents, and certain, there's a lot more here. There's a lot more here to be seen. And another thing is, like, we've got the Memphis Film Commission that is very pro about bringing films here and bring projects here, and they're hungry to bring more projects here, and the people that work here are hungry to work on bigger projects. We have stories to tell, and people come here with stories that they want to tell, and we want to be a part of that. Memphis Film Prize has opened the door for people to collaborate. We have a huge family here, a film family, and we work together and support each other. These 10 films, we all know each other. And there's actors that have worked on multiple projects. There are filmmakers that have worked on multiple projects, and that's really fostered and really cultivated that family mentality. How do you feel?
I feel a lot of the same way. Just being able to showcase here, like, this event is huge for me. I remember coming here my first year, and I was just in awe of all the people here that loved the same thing that I loved, and we all got to get together on a weekend and just show our love for what it is that we do. And it just gave me something to strive for. So my first year I was here as just a spectator. And in that moment, I said, you know what? I want to be in a top 10 film. And so the very next year, I was in one. I didn't have a speaking part, but it gave me something to strive for. I was like, you know what? Next year, I want to be in a top 10 film, and I want to be a lead in the film. And it just kind of happened. I've known Arnold for 5 years. I've auditioned for him before, and it just wasn't right. And so for us to have known each other for 5 years, and I've admired his work for the 5 years that I've known him, and this was just the right timing for us. This was the right place for us to showcase it, and being able to come here and just have this weekend just for us, and to see how people come out and support. And it's like a family to me. When I walk in the door, I feel like I'm at home. I feel like it's a family, because, like Arnold said, we all know each other, and just to be able to stand and talk and then laugh and it's competition, but it's healthy competition, and that just makes me feel so great, because I think family is important. And we don't get to pick the family that we're born into, but when you get to pick the people that you call family, like, that is so amazing. And these people here are my family.
So your advice to future filmmakers watching this interview is to jump into the deep end and never look back.
Yeah, just jump in and go, and don't you're going to hear no, and just keep going. You have to keep going, because one day you're going to get that, whatever it is that you've been striving for, one day you're going to get that. And it's so worth it when you get it. It's so worth it.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.